Welcome to Prerona Television Canada on behalf of Global Academy of and Holistic Leadership and Coaching. We are very happy. We're continuing our leadership speaker series, and today is our episode 69. And as usual, our speaker, Advocate Jiaur Rahman, is with us. He's the CEO of IITM and adjunct faculty of Independent University. As you know, that we are continuing our leadership speaker series for more than a year. And the purpose of this series is actually to share knowledge and expertise to you all. As you know that we are dealing with a lot of challenges during pandemic, and we do need to develop the leadership skill. So we are continuing our leadership series. So I would like I now welcome Advocate Jiaur Rahman to continue his session.
Just 20 seconds. So, good evening in Canada and good morning in Bangladesh and rest of the world. Welcome back to our series on leadership and leadership development. So let me start the PowerPoint presentation. Today's topic is leadership and management aptitude. So I believe you can see my screen now. Okay, so we have been doing this for more than a year, and today's topic is leadership and management aptitude. Once again, the focus of today's session is actually blending leadership issues with your management practice issues. We sometimes mix them up. We feel that leadership is management and management is leadership. While it's partly true, but leadership is something beyond than management. Leadership is doing the right thing, and management is doing the things rightly, slightly different. In other words, you're looking at leadership where you're taking change, you're taking leadership in transforming things, you're moving things in a different direction. You're creating a new path in leadership. Whereas in management, you're given a certain parameter, you're given a certain structure, and you're following the structure and making things better, more efficient, more dynamic. That there is this difference between the two. In one case where we're looking at leadership, we are taking risks more, whereas on the management side, we are of course taking risk, but we are within a controlled environment. So having said this, let me jump into the presentation. Normally I have some quotations. Today's quotation is by Robert H. Schuller. It says, failure doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means you haven't succeeded yet. This is true for leadership. This is true for management. If you feel that you have failed, then your whole aura, your whole spirit of taking things to the next level will be, you will not be able to take it to the next level because you have decided that you have failed in your mind, and your body, mind, and spirit integration will not be there in order for you to take your organization to the next level. Therefore, the most important part of any learning in management and in leadership is that you should not feel that I have failed. It is an opportunity where maybe you have missed the boat, maybe you have missed on certain issues, and it seemed that apparently you have failed. But what you have to do is muster enough courage and drive back at what you had done, rectify your issues, the problems, the gaps that you had, and then you will definitely succeed. So it's about having a mindset on things that you do. If you are constantly thinking that I have failed miserably or failed in this domain, then you're energy level will be coming to a low ebbing point. You don't want to be in those type of environment. You want to bounce back. So your mindset should be on the right track. And what is the track? It should be thinking that, yes, I had some obstacles. Yes, I had made some error, but where is my solution? So you have to start thinking about your solution. And when you are thinking about your issues, that things didn't go wrong, then things did go wrong, and then you're at the same time thinking about all the other attributes which will be helpful for you to make things better, then obviously you will be able to bounce back quickly and most effectively. And that's what the whole objective of a good leader or a good manager is. Moving forward, this is by Abraham Lincoln, one of the presidents of United States, famous president. The best way to predict the future is to create it. This is a very powerful statement. If you want to predict a future, the best thing is to start working at it. If you think that I'm going to probably go in this route, we are going to do this and that. So you're predicting the future, having an aspiration of the future. How do you get to that point? Is by creating it. If you are thinking of these things, then start acting on those things. So as a professional, as a leader, as a manager, if you have certain things in your mind that you feel should be done for your organization or for your department, then the best thing is to start working at it, meaning creating the plan of action so that the desires that you are having or holding are coming true. So actions are much more important than just a thinking mind. Of course, we have to have a good thinking mind. In our thought process, we build castles. That's a reality for all. We build ideas. We start thinking that after this, we're going to do that. You have a piece of land and you're starting to build the 10-story building on it. You have to do that. That is ambition. That is aspiration. While you do that, you should also start collecting all the knowledge, all the technology, all the skills, so that all the resources, so that you can start building that 10-story building in your piece of land which you have acquired. So starting to do certain thing is the best way to predict the future. Moving forward, this is by Thomas Alva Edison. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. This is a fact in life. We have missed out many opportunities in life because we didn't stick to the plan. We gave up, be it in sports, be it in academia, be it in your professional domain. We don't stick to our game plan. We feel that we have done enough, it's not working, and therefore your time is valued, and you start giving yourself some pointers in the sense that I am wasting perhaps my time. This is not the right journey, or this is not the right path for me. And therefore I need to retract, regroup myself, and do something else. While this is also a good strategy, but often this is not the right strategy. Sometimes the last mile is the most difficult moment of your life. It's like running the last mile of marathon. You're almost there. You have hit the 25th mile zone and the stadium is right in front of you, but you're giving up because your legs are not allowing. This is where your indomitable spirit, this is where you have to have the courage, the energy, the passion, and the tremendous motivation to push yourself to the limit. These are the points where people of average quality versus people of great standing are decided. People of average mindset, people of average mental makeup leaves the journey when it becomes difficult. They don't want to climb the Himalayas. They go through different steps. They enjoy a bit. They feel that this is my last capacity, and then they leave. Whereas if they stuck to the game plan, if they worked extremely hard, they would probably have succeeded. So this is the whole dilemma of life. Where do you let go of your efforts? Obviously, if you're not cut for something, you will not be able to do that activity, that's for sure. But can you develop yourself? Can you acquire the right skills? Can you acquire the right resources to get to that point? That's another question altogether. So as a leader, we have to find that particular niche where I can actually outperform and I can actually overcome all the obstacles and build my capability to become the leader that I truly wanted to be. So moving forward, with this quotation, I would say that we have to try much harder in our lives in the activities that we do, and we have to hold our confidence, because the power of human being is incredible. Actually, we don't even know how powerful we are as human beings. So if you are pushing yourself to the limit, obviously the limit will be extended and your capacity will grow accordingly. So have faith in yourself, push yourself forward, because the door to success is shifting, but it is within your reach if you pursue hard enough. And you have to have the passion to drive towards that success. Moving forward, this is by Lou Halls. I think everyone should experience defeat at least once during their career. You learn a lot from it. This is absolutely important. This is from the leader's point of view. This is also from the manager's point of view. Both leader and manager need to experience defeat during their career. Why is it important? Because defeat makes you humble. You don't start thinking that I'm invincible. Sometimes you might think that you're invincible, and that's where you set yourself for a trap and maybe a major failure point in life. So in your process of your career, in your process of your self discovery and self development, if you find that there are obstacles which you could not navigate properly, you can call that career defeat. You can call that a failure point, a flash point of failure in your life. But if these points come in, then you become more mentally stronger. You become more agile to all the obstacles that might unfold in front of you in your checkered career. So life is not all bed of roses, and we all know that. But if somebody is destined to succeed, he or she will have to go through many obstacles, many bumps in life. So these small bumps, these obstacles make you more strong as a human being. It gives you the resolve to overcome, and it gives you different ideas and perspective that you have to take. If certain thing takes place very easily, then you don't use your brain to the limit. So if things are not working, you will start thinking of many different ways of navigating through this difficult journey and difficult path. This will allow you an opportunity to look at things from multiple angles. You will have a 360-degree perspective. And once you have that type of perspective, you become more confident as a professional and as a leader. So we need to have obstacles in our life. Don't think of obstacles as obstacles per se. Think of obstacles as an opportunity to learn that certain things will not work this way, and you need to create an alternative strategy and move forward. So we have to be cognizant, we have to be conscious that we will have failures, we will have obstacle points, we will have points of, it may sound like points of no return, and we will have to navigate out of those chaotic and problematic situation. But you have to hold you have to hold your mindset in an appropriate level. You have to hold your breath, and you have to show forth with confidence that these issues are really not issue for you, and you are having the proper mindset to overcome those obstacles and move in your journey for a better, successful career. Moving forward, this is a quotation that I create for myself in line with the topic. So, what is leadership? Leadership is about developing the management aptitude to sense what works and what does not, and then develop the strategy for effective engagement. In other words, leadership is actually finding the right environment where things are working, things are nurtured in such a way that things move in the right direction. That's the common space that leadership is actually looking for, finding the right sequence of activities that will allow you to move from point A to point B. Leadership is actually the design of your current state and the alignment towards this future state. So what is working is something that you will try to emulate and you will try to have as much as possible. And what is not working, you will try to tinker with it, of course, but you will try to also avoid those processes which leads you to these obstacle points, leads you to these dead ends. So you will have to find your path around those dead ends and around those obstacles. And this is all, but this is basically what leadership is all about. And once you, in your journey, if you effectively deploy all your strategies on the ground, then at the end you will have a career success because things are working the way you had planned or even better. So you have to be careful as to understand that in your career path, in your journey as a professional or a business person or a social change maker or a politician, certain things will work, certain things which may seem apparent may not even work. So you have to be able to juggle these two components and make sure you are in a fluid mindset and moving forward as a leader, giving the direction, giving the proper vision for your enterprise or your organization. Moving forward, leadership and management. We are not trying to define leadership and management in two different angles, but what we are trying to do here is giving you the feel of what is required in order to be successful in your leadership and in your management practice. You have to understand the pulse of your workers and the manager and manage their mindsets. This is important both in leadership design and in managing your daily activity. If you don't know what they're thinking, if you don't know their mindset, if you don't know how they are triggered, how they are feeling happier, what are the tools and techniques to make them more excited in your day-to-day work activity, then you will not be able to trigger that motivation. You will not be able to push their energy level to the next level. So understanding their pulse, understanding their mental makeup is important. Then comes their capability. You have to know their capability and manage accordingly. You can't flog a dead horse to the drink water, right? You can't push someone who is incapable of doing something in that particular direction. You can't make somebody an Einstein who doesn't understand physics and mathematics, no matter how hard you try. This is the fact of life. So we have to realize amongst ourselves that the people with whom we are working, they have unique set of capabilities. Somebody might be much better in communication. Somebody might be better in writing out these reports. So according to their merit, according to their capability, we need to frame our management and frame our leadership structure. And that's when you will have a vibrant environment. The next point is gather a 360-degree perspective. It's not just on the people, it's on the management process, it's on the technology available to you. It's on the resources that you have around you. It's on the market understanding and the stakeholder issue that are prevalent in this domain in which you're operating. If you have a reasonably good understanding from a 360-degree bird's eye view, then things will be much easier for you to frame it. You'll be like a grand chess master, piecing the puzzle much more appropriately, because you can almost see the future that is about to unfold. So that's important, having a very comprehensive view of the organization and the markets for you to succeed as a leader or as a manager. Balance between leading and managing. This is an important component. A leader's mindset operates in a slightly different way, because leaders are innovating the process. Mostly they are leading from the front with new ideas, new innovation, new perspective, new design. Everything new is going to be mostly driven by the leader, whereas from the manager's point of view, everything that is working, you are embracing those activities and making it more efficient, more productive. So slight differences in mindset. So if you are a leader and if you know that most of the people in your organization have a slightly different managerial perspective, then all your effort in pushing them with a leadership perspective may not work as appropriately. Whereas if you had put your manager's hat and driven the enterprise, then they would have probably done it slightly better, because they are more functionally competent. They don't want to think beyond a particular structure, while you're maybe stuck with a set of employees who are not visionary, but they're very good in their day-to-day work activity. So you have to understand what type of work environment you are in. And there is no potentially beneficial approach to pushing someone where they are not capable of doing. So you have to understand who these people are, their overall mental makeup, their mental capacity, physical capacity, and then create the strategy where you will, how much of leadership impetus, how much of leadership input you will be putting, and how much of managerial focus you will be putting on these people. If you can blend these two together, then understanding your organization, things will work much more efficiently. The next point is gain team perspective and deploy strategy accordingly. Again, um, we live in a world where we work on teams. It's no longer an individual activity that leads you to stardom. It's all a team effort. It's almost impossible for one person to execute all the nitty-gritty, all the different components of the entire affair. So in this team effort, you have to also create an understanding of what type of leadership component and what type of managerial component you want to associate. If you are a truly visionary organization working with a set of truly visionary people, then your leadership focus should be tremendously more than your overall managerial focus. You will have to be a manager in that respect, where you have to give a great amount of effort in allowing people to be self-driven, self-energized, and creating their own practices within the enterprise, so that they feel that they're creating something, they're co-creating something. Whereas if you work in another enterprise where people are very functionally competent, they are subject matter specialists, and they are just focused on what they know best, and they want to do it most diligently and most effectively. In those type of environment, the structure would be more suggested, and you will create the organizational structure so that these people work very nicely and with proper mindset in those type of environment. That in that type of environment, they will succeed better. So mixing it up between two domains of people, and all of a sudden changing their behavioral pattern by changing your leadership focus may not be the most appropriate strategy in this case. So, having said this, we have to be careful as a professional, as a leader, as to blend in your managerial hat with your leadership hat, and how effectively you will use those mental makeups that you have on your people will actually build your organization forward. So sometimes we don't see, we push our own mindset, our own vision too harshly or too dominantly on your people, whereas your people are not ready to uh, grasp or gather the understanding of your grand vision. So you have to play it according to the overall capacity of your team member. And that is the essence of leading from the front. That is the essence of managing your people. If your people are in a comfort zone, then things will evolve, things will work more effectively. And that's the whole dynamic of leadership management angle in running the affairs of any enterprise. Moving forward, management aptitude. This is aptitude means a natural ability to do something. So your management, the way you have to frame your management and your team management is that they should have the aptitude to do things on their own, having an Ubuntu mindset. This is the most appropriate way to move an enterprise in today's economy to the next level, specifically when things are in a flux and moving in multiple direction. And we all know that technology in today's market space is moving at breakneck speed. And unless we adapt to these transformed technological tools and all of that, we will not be doing service as a manager to our team members. So bringing all these managerial aptitude into the game of running your business, running your affair is very important. So you have to be logically, appropriately incorporating all the issues and activities that are prevalent in the marketplace so that you can have a more dominant presence and more managerially competitive presence in your business, in your profession. Connecting the management ideas with vision. This is also important. As we mentioned, that how your organizational makeup is will drive what level of vision sharing you will be doing. If they are very innovative and creative and they have the mindset to take on new challenge, then driving your organization by focusing and aligning with your vision would be the most appropriate strategy. Whereas if your organizational team members are more functional, then you have to blend more day-to-day perspective into running your affair, and then the vision setting and the vision focus activities would be blended in, but in lower context, in lower level, meaning the timeline for pushing your people with grand vision would be reduced so that they can do more work and less on the vision setting and vision alignment activities. This is a very important issue that as a professional you will pick up. There are no right approach. Every organization is different. So don't just take my word for it. You will have to find your own space and your own way of sharing and communicating your vision, and how, at what level of the communication you have to blend in with your organization. Moving forward, mission, vision, achievement with management focus. This is again strategically an important issue for a leader or a manager, where how much of your vision you're connecting with your day-to-day managerial focus. You are challenged with a set of people who are very driven with managerial efficiency. Then your focus should be more on day-to-day activities and some vision setting. Whereas if your organization is in the industry where you have no choice but to create new products and services in order to just survive, then your focus should be more on the vision setting focus of finding the new product, creating the new scope for the organization, etc. Drive organizational excellence through honing management aptitude. Honing management aptitude, meaning creating an environment so that your managerial team members are delivering the right output. They are most efficient, they are competent, they know their trade well, they know to how to execute and how to create value within your enterprise and the products and services that you're building. These are going to lead to your organizational excellence. So you have to be very careful as how to build your value in your organization, how to make sure your supply chain and value chains are very appropriately, very efficiently designed so that your time to market for your product and services is squeezed, and thereby you're creating more value in terms of your cost will be lower, and you will be pushing your products and services in quick succession into the market. So these are the managerial perspective, the managerial aptitude that you have to blend in with your enterprise so that you actually deliver a appropriate level of competence within your organization. Moving forward, lead and manage. These are connected issue. Um, you have to be leading and managing at the same time, blending management style with leadership style. As we mentioned, two different styles of approach. You have to be able to manage your managerial perspective with your leadership perspective and your leadership vision. This is an art. You will perfect it over the time. It will not come in just like tomorrow. It'll be something that you will have to work at it, and then you will know what would be the right blend of your design as a leader, what level of managerial perspective you will be focusing, and what level of vision setting and grand aspiration you would be sharing with your team members. Then comes promoted total focus on change and advancement. This is important both for a manager and a leader. If you are telling your people on a daily basis that we have to advance and we have to change things around and make things more efficient, more less bureaucratic, and more techno savvy, then automatically they will all start thinking. Their thinking mind will kick in, and if an organization needs to succeed, the thinking mind within the enterprise has to be nurtured and nourished, and that's how you will develop a better enterprise. Align vision with leaders and managers' role. Again, manager and leaders' roles are defined. If your vision has been set by, let's say, absolute top management, you're sitting in the mid management, you have to align your own roles and activities in line with your vision that had been set by the top management. So this is important in order to lead and manage your particular domain. Moving forward, drive internal passion. This is absolutely essential. You can't lead, you can't manage if you don't have the passion. So you have to be able to push yourself. You have to tell your people what matters and how we are going to execute, and what is it that we are doing for the welfare of the organization and for the society, etc. So this passion has to be driven into every single individual within the enterprise. Ensure communication clarity. Absolutely. Without clarity of communication, things will break down. People will have doubts. People will think that, are we in the right journey? So clarity in communication will keep the confidence level up, will keep the passion going, and keep people motivated in their work activity. So we have to be absolutely certain that at every level you have to bring in proper communication to your team members, and not just team members, also stakeholders who are going to be perhaps your buyers of your products and services, etc. Your vendors who are supporting you with raw materials, if they are sufficiently motivated, then they will also be supporting you in the design of a better product. Leaders manage people while managers reduce risk and management. This is a vital issue in leading and managing. Leaders manage people in a different way than the managers. So managers are actually managing by reducing risks out there in terms of operations. So managers are mostly focused on getting the things done on a daily basis with all the tools and technology available to you, whereas the leader is thinking of managing and leading by creating a new space, creating a new potential, a new way of designing the business, way of thinking through the activities of the enterprise. So this is a this is a mindset that is allowing the leader to take more risk than the manager. So as a manager, as a leader, we have to understand what level of this risk issue we will be assigning to our team members. Because if you are pushing too much risk into your enterprise, then there is also a risk of total failure. So in order to create something remarkable, if you totally unsettle your ship and the ship drowns, then your whole journey is totally going to waste. You will fail miserably as a leader. So you don't want to undertake grand level of risk unless you are absolutely certain that with this risk you're going to move to the next level and nobody else in the business will be able to, you know, be in comparison to your competence level, your technology level, your skill levels. That is something different. But how often would you be taking that risk is an important issue to be decided. So from a managerial point of view, you take risk of a much smaller level, whereas from a leader's perspective. So as a leader, as a manager, we have to be thinking that what level of risk that we will be ensuring and incorporating in our design of the enterprise and in the daily activities of our enterprise. Moving forward, I think we have come to the end of my session. Yes, I end with $1 million question. Today's $1 million question: is there a fine line between managers and leaders while finding the right resource person? It all depends on the enterprise. As I mentioned, if you are working for an enterprise which is innovating things on a daily basis, you would be focused on finding people with more leadership skills, people with more innovative skills, people who wants to think beyond what is obvious. Those type of people you would be seeking more. So innovative in terms of their leadership skills, that's the type of people. But whereas if you're working for an enterprise, if you're organizing an enterprise which has a very structured system, the machines are there, the outputs are coming, you don't have to worry much. You just have to make sure the production run is properly managed. In those type of situation, the managerial traits are vital. So you want to hire people with high level of efficiency and managerial traits. They are very focused on their own work activity. They want to be subject matter experts. Those type of people you would be hiring in those situations. So with that, I would be coming to the end of my session. And this is a series that we have been doing it for a very long time. I'm Advocate Ziaur Rahman, signing off from Dhaka, and Edward Proby Model is in Canada. This is something that we have been doing for the welfare of our people in Bangladesh and beyond. And if you are watching our sessions, I hope you will gain some perspectives on leadership, management traits, organizational behavior, the culture of organization, etc. So we have been doing this, and we welcome you next week, same time, on the Zoom platform. And good luck and stay away from pandemic. And we are signing off. Thank you very much.